Hey guys, Steve here. Welcome back to another SG Creations where I spotlight all the customs I made, whether it be an engine, rolling stock, or building. And today we have something a little different today. And I want everyone to say hello to Richard. So you guys may be wondering, who is this guy, or where did he came from? Okay, so I'm just going to tell you about, so the first thing I'm going to say is that Richard is actually an OC character that's not created by me, but created by somebody else. This is his name is Carson, Carson Video Workshop. His full YouTube channel is called Carson08022000's Video Workshop. That's literally the name of it. If I mispronounce it, I'm going to be putting it, his channel is up there on the screen, so if that makes it help. I'll link his channel in the description below, and of course in the end of the video. But for now, let's just get into the character, okay? So who is he? Well, he's an OC created by this guy, and of course he is a very unique character, so to speak. There's something fascinating about Richard that I just like about him. I don't know, whether it be his model or his character, or it's just his, I don't know. This character is just a wholesome character. So I'm just gonna explain to him what's his origins. Okay. If you guys already know his origins, you can skip this video to the length. Here it is. Here's the timestamp to get into the custom. But for now, I'm just gonna explain to the people who doesn't know who this character is. So this engine was about to be scrapped on the other railway. Henry was taking like a goods train, to the other railway. Like a big bridge steel beam, like an entire bridge support section was needed to be melted down, and the diesel was taking Richard, was about to be scrapped, but Henry saved him by trading him with the big bridge supports for Richard, for safety, and Diesel was like, deal. And so they traded the loads, and Richard came to the island of Sodor. The Fat Controller approved of Richard. That's what he needed. Gordon and James weren't friendly with him. Gordon was extremely jealous of him because he was an express engine and helping out with the express. Where Gordon broke down and causing an accident. Richard saved the day, and Richard was taking the express, which makes James jealous. And James is, like, arr! It's that kind of stuff. And so he was being careless that he made a crane, lost its support. And then one day Richard took it, and he had a little accident with the coaches, and he got blamed for it. So the Fat Controller thought Richard was the one who caused the accident, but it was really James. Richard was punished, but soon realized that, but his name soon got cleared out, thanks to the support of Henry, and James finally just spoke up saying that, James didn't say anything at the first place only because he wanted to take the express so badly from Richard. But until he realized that it was wrong, because Richard was innocent. He wasn't guilty. He's completely innocent for the cranes to loss of support. And even Gordon gained respect after he saved him. He saved a nasty accident from happening. Hence, Richard is now part of the Northwestern Railway and Carson's universe, and throughout the entire fandom on Twitter, basically, there has been so much support over Richard. His title is Richard the New Engine, but I like to call him Richard the Express Engine because it's like Rebecca. What happens when that character is no longer new? What's the title then? I'm just gonna call it but for now I'm just gonna call it Richard the New Engine because, well, it just had a ring to it, and just a roll of the tongue. Richard the New Engine. Just sounds genuine, okay? I'm losing time out of this, so let's just get into the model. Shall we begin? So, how the model was made? Well, it was basically made out of a play rail Henry. And hence where Henry, not this Henry, okay? I just brought out Henry just to side comparison between, just to prove it. Oh, plus, also, I forgot one thing I forgot to mention. Richard is actually Henry's best friend. And that's actually the sweetest moment ever. So, It's made of the player Henry, but not this Henry, not this version. It was actually the re-release version of Henry, which I didn't like. You heard me right. Okay, what read version I'm talking about? Let's just move these two characters out of the way, and let's just bring in James, okay? Here's James. That's the original play route James. You can tell by the white running board. Finally got this James. I prefer this one. Over to this play route. What makes it, the redesign was the new chassis. Technically, you're supposed to fit the battery here, but now the redesign has to fit the battery in the boiler. Just basically unscrew it and not just removing the coal, which hits reveal a battery. I prefer the old play route compared to the new ones because, well, James's boiler is just completely fat and I didn't like it. So I just prefer this one. But we're not talking about James, we're talking about Richard. And hence, imagine, Henry's new redesign over here. Just don't mention this as Richard. It's going to be hard to. Let's just remove it, okay? Just imagine behind my hand is the redesign Henry. The Playro's redesign. Okay? And hence I converted into Richard. Now this is a custom I was wanting to make for so long, like over about I gave it about 6 months ago or maybe like earlier, I don't know. So I ordered a Playroll Henry off of eBay, but it was taking like so long to get here that I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna cancel the order and get my refund. And then I decided to order a Playroll Henry out of Amazon, the newer version, to convert it into Richard, and I turned the model. I had 1 day to complete the model, so I didn't want no instructions. The reason for this is because, well, it was Carson's birthday, and I wanted to as the gift, I wanted to finish Richard here. Hence, I made that. So the body is actually made out of the Trackmaster, Playroll Henry, as I said before. The face is actually from a Trackmaster Duke with modified features. So let's just move Henry out of the way. Okay, so we're just gonna take Richard here, side view, and let's just bring in Duke here for a second here. Okay, see that? Now that's literally how the character is. His nose, like, when I saw Richard's face, I was like, if I wanted to make a custom, I wanted to get his face correctly, but I'm not sure who can I use, for the face. Until I was selling something on Twitter, and then some guy, had something that had my interest, was a Trackmaster Duke, hence where I was like, the face was actually good for Richard. So I was looking at Richard, then I was looking at Duke, and I was like, perfect, I'll use, the face for it. And hence, that's where the idea came from, because, Richard has somewhat of a similar face to Duke, and I really am proud of how it came out. I just modified the eyebrows and, of course, the teeth, because if you were looking at Richard's episodes, which I'll link in the description below and in the video, if you guys want to go check it out, that Richard's had actually smiles like Duke, but only with teeth. Like, he shows with with full teeth, like no, like Duke. You notice like how Duke is smiling with teeth, and then there's a hole there, and then Richard just smile, and then here's Richard, but just smiling completely. Like, I just had to take putty and clay together, and then just had to smooth it out. Just so, they actually, so that way Richard can actually smile, naturally. I didn't want to have Richard, to have Duke's, completely Duke's face without, doing any modification. Just felt like that just would be lazy, So yeah, I just thought, Duke's face was perfect fit for Richard. Let's look at the tender back here. So the tender is actually from a Trackmaster Douglas. So let me bring on the Trackmaster Douglas I have. Here he is. It was actually from a Tommi Douglas, which was actually made from HIT, and I was like, Richard has somewhat of the Caledonian Twins' tender, Scottish Twins tender. I'm used to saying Caledonian Twins instead of Scottish, but that's not the point. So it has a somewhat more of like a similar tender. I wanted to make a Richard somewhat in the original style play rail like Henry, like I have with Henry, Gordon, and James. But the only problem was is that the motorized is happening on a tender, and I want Richard's tender to be accurate. So I was like, you know what? Why not? Just go with the tender. And then, I mean, like, the tender was the tricky part for me. It's when I realized I changed my mind from going the original style to the new style, but I wanted to make it look like the original style of play rail as much as I can. I don't know how to explain it, but that's the only way I can explain it to you guys without, like, babbling too much, okay? Alright. So, yeah, the whole body is just airbrushed in a green, which I had to completely mix. I got confused over Richard's paints like multiple times. I can't stress of how many times I mixed up it. Like I got I don't know what to use for Richard's paint. So I had this. I had this neon green, which seemed too dark. Then I went for like a lime spray can green, which was too yellowy, which was not the point, which was supposed to be making Richard's like green, like accurate. Then I bought an olive green, which it looks completely too dark, and I was like, Richard's paint is not that dark. It's supposed to be like, it's like Henry, but with like a hint of, with like so much like yellow, so to speak. I don't know, and a little gray, I think said. I mean, I guess I can say that, but it's like a bluish green with a mix of gray. I guess I can call it that. And then I just took matter into my own hands to saying, like, I'm going to make my own green with all the acrylic paint I can use until I can make the perfect batch of green. The green was perfect, that I actually have a copy, so in case if the paint, was to peel off, I can, like, airbrush it back again. Painting it, like, just handily won't do, because, like, once you painted it versus, like, painted hand versus what you airbrush it, the color won't, like, come out the same, in my opinion. So yeah, part of the green is peeling off, so it can reveal like a sort of a blue. There it is. This is actually recycled of a play rail new version of Gordon's wheels. So yeah, I had this project like thinking a long time ago, like but even before like I made this like in early August. So yeah. As you can see, the running board, I actually airbrushed that. I tried to mix it in the original play rail of running board. So when I looked at Henry's running board, and then I decided I wanted to make Richard's running board as accurate as possible, because what makes Richard really, really unique was that his model is literally would have looked like what the creators of Thomas and Friends of of the model series would have made, how Richard would have been made. And I was like, it looks completely like realistic to me, and hence I decided to go in full on detail with Richard. Yeah, the lamp irons, I really should do something about that. I would have like chopped it off, and I would have done something with the running board instead of like looking like it looks like Henry, but it's not Henry. But I was like, you know what? Why bother with that? I fiddle with a lot of these things, and I'm like, you know what? I'm too tired to even deal with it, so I'm just gonna leave it as it is. Like not do anything with the running board, because I don't want to make like, what if I did something even worse and I can't just make it go back, and then I have to redo everything, because this project took me like a full day, like nearly a full day, like to complete this project. Hence, the reason why it took me a full day was because, well, like I said before, I wanted to make this for the birthday of Carson. And there it is. So yeah, what I had to do was I actually had to patch it up for the. So here's the thing. For the new Henry, the only thing that I had to deal with was the firebox. The firebox was something that Richard did not have, like his showing firebox. So. Imagine this. Okay, so Henry's firebox is here, okay? But I didn't want Henry's firebox, to be. I didn't want to make Richard to be like literally just like Henry, repainted version of Henry, okay? Just literally like lazy work, like that's no good for me. I'm the type of guy that rather do like the long way route, like do the hard work, rather than just doing something really like completely simple. Okay, that's just me, because like I just like to challenge myself. Okay, so yeah, so I had to deal with this, so I had to literally just saw it. I don't have a Dremel, well, not yet, but when I do, I may not use it, because I'm more used to like, just sawing things, because in my opinion, by the way, if you really just like saw some things like with like a with like a blade, or like, like a knife, that's actually good workout. Okay, that's just my opinion. Okay. So yeah, it was really hard for me until I got it out, and then I had to fiddle with, like, making like a round cylinder, like with making like with plastic, pulling streets, so, sheets, sorry. So this is what I used to cover up, Richard's, what do I call it, to cover up Henry's, missing firebox there. So imagine if you're making the old shape Henry and you had to remove that firebox. That's basically what I had to do. And then of course his wheel arches. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna say this. Richard's model is literally it. Richard's base is Merlin. Merlin, the experimental engine. Yeah, he's basically his class, with the exception of he has no smoke deflectors. The other notable thing that you would see similar with Merlin and Richard's body is that they have similar, I don't know what they call it, but it's a wheel arch, I assume so. It's like wheel arches, only exception it's completely covered. So like it's like 3 wheel arches in one, just completely just covered it up. I'm going to call it the wheel arch, because, well, splashers, that's what I call it. I don't know why I'm more used to call it wheel arches, but I'm just going to call it splashers. So that's the splashers. So the splashers literally just had to use clay and putty for this, smooth it out, like sanded it out, file it down, to make like, the perfect arc. I would have used the Playroom Merlin, but he was a rare model, so I was like, I don't want like to buy it, because like that's a really, I prefer that model over the Trackmaster Merlin, because the Trackmaster Merlin is really fat, and I don't want to use the Trackmaster Merlin to make Richard, because, well, in my opinion, Richard is just, well, is too good of a character to even deserve that type of design, and so I think it's better, to give Richard like is in his formal glory, instead of like, looking at something so cheap. Let's help them, okay? And this is where the things get tricky for me, for the cab, because I need to get like, Richard's cab. Like he has a different design cab. It's like James, for example. Let me pull out James for a second. So notice how James has like this like open side cab, okay, that completely just like connects like, like at the back end. So it's like, imagine my finger is like the head of like the first tip of the finger is like the head of the driver, okay? That's basically what I did for here. It was really tricky work. It was really hard work. Not much to say here. Yeah, I'm just babbling on over the smaller details, but I think the smaller details is just so aesthetic for me. It's just what I really like to do. Just give like, work on the smaller details instead of like thinking so big. And as you can see, the tender is completely attached to the engine. I just used wire just so I can save, some couplings, have some free spare couplings. That's one way to get like, extra couplings. Yeah. I really had to fiddle, and I don't think I have to go into further details as to what I did on the top. Was I removed like, just added like the dome to the center and just removed the top feet from the redesigned Henry. But I think you guys are clever to. Oops, sorry. I think you guys are clever to figure it out yourself. Yeah. There's Richard. His numbers is literally 778. I'm guessing that's what a real. That's. I think that's one of the real life N15, which is his class. I think I need to double check that, but. Yeah, his number is based on like a real life locomotive. I think it was scrapped. I'm not sure. But I decided, you know what, I didn't have a printer, so I just hand painted it myself, airbrushed it first in the green, and then just like, you know, take like a Sharpie, like a thin Sharpie, just to trace out like the numbers, like how, like, and then painted it yellow, and then to give like Richard's indicate the numbers correctly. And yeah, that's just Richard, how he is. That's the full Richard model. It was one hell of a very stressful custom to make. That's only because I only had one day to make it. So I really wanted to get that done. So the date was August, the 2nd of August, August 2nd. Yeah, August 2nd. Was the hardest part, you know, just for me to make, you know, Richard's model completely done, like, fast. The reason I did this, well, like I mentioned, it was Carson's birthday, so I was like, you know what, I want to make this for his birthday gift, and I had to work super fast. So yeah. Oh yeah, and his personality is basically like, it's basically Merlin's. It's just like he mispronounced some words, he's clumsy, so a lot of things, like, yeah. Those things I forgot to mention, but Richard is such a gem. I made this custom only because, not because it's dedicated just for Carson, but it's also because Carson and I have made a deal saying I asked special permission for Carson if I can use Richard for my stuffs, and he agreed to it, and so I'm happy to say that Richard will be appearing in the Island of Sodor. I just can't help it. I mean, I think Richard is better than Rebecca, you know, character. I mean, oh sure, I mean, I would have added, like, you know, Rebecca, you know, as the part of the 4 engines, but I think, I don't know, there's just something about Richard that's just more of a gem than just Rebecca. I think Richard, you know, deserves to be part of the 3 big engines. And as his final episode indicated, saying the 3 big engines now became 4. Disgraceful, disgusting, despicable, disagreeable. That is Richard, the new Richard. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching this. Let me know in the comments section below what you think. What do you think I could have done better? And if you have any questions, I will reply to it. This is Steven Garcia 118 signing off. Thank you for watching.